Welcome, everybody, back to the Murph and Vish podcast. We are on episode 12, and today we are talking games of all sorts, board games, card games, video games, and I'm here with the one, the only, Murphiano. How we doing today, Murph?
I am doing amazing, Vicioso. I had a great time with my little brother. I also recorded the call because he called me while I was on stream, so I have the call on stream. So I'm going to go back on the stream and clip that. Pretty good day so far, not bad. I took a day off from the gym today to kind of rest.
Okay.
How about you, Vicious? How was your day today? Talk to me.
It was good. It was good. It was a busy week at work, but it's Friday. It's the weekend. It's time to party up, live it up. So. But yeah, so as always, we're going to start with what we normally start with. We got Wordle as well as we're going to do the video game version today. So Murph, what are we doing? What's our 5-letter word to start off today?
I think we should go with cramp.
Cramp. Okay. Now we've been talking gym stuff and everything like that. Here we go. Okay, we have an R. No way. R.
We could try Rocky.
Okay.
See if maybe the first letter is R.
Okay. There we go. I like it, Rocky. Okay. So there is a Y at the end. And the R has to be one of the last two. I'm guessing it's probably something RY. So, no, I was going to say,
Terry.
Terry? Is that what you said?
Terry, yeah. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I don't know if it's names, but let's give it a shot, They'll tell us where the R is. Okay, so the R is in the middle. So there's no E, no O, no A. So it's probably something IR. Oh, what about? No, I was gonna say righty. So it's something probably I or something U.
I'm thinking it might be an L. Something RLY.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong.
That's good. Something's. Oh, actually. Or what about birdie? Aaron had put birds in the chat. What about birdie? No, let's send it. Oh, it's considered not a word. Never mind.
What? Okay. So we know it's not a double R at the obvious. Yeah.
Barely. No. Oh wait. What about?
Merely.
Burley.
Oh, BURLY. Oh yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
Go crazy, man.
Okay. That's 3 games played. All 3, at least that has been keeping track, or 4. We've had, I think, a 3 and a 5, so we've never got the elusive 1. But one day, chat, we will get there.
Pretty good at this.
Now, let's do. Give me a number, Murph. 1 through 433.
Holy moly. 432.
432. Okay, here we go. Oh, was that called Pong? What was that the computer game? Is it Ping Pong? The game where, like, essentially there's just like a ball that moves and you have 2 things on the side. Was that called?
Yeah, I think that was called ping pong, no?
I don't know. We'll see. Nope. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the game I'm thinking of. I just can't think of the name.
Bounce? uh,
I just don't know. Oh, was it just called Pong?
it could just be Pong.
Okay, never mind. This isn't Pong. I don't think this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely not Pong.
Um, shit. I don't know.
Roblox.
Roblox. Oh,
What?
is it Astro?
Astro World. Astro Boy.
I don't think it. No, Astro Boy's an actual thing. What?
Astrophysicist.
Sure, we'll try Astro Boy. Oh, I know exactly. I'm seeing it, and I know what this is. An old game.
Oh, where the ball bounces and you have to break the things.
Yeah, I can't think of what the name is.
Ball, block breaker, blockbuster, block blaster. It was something like that. Yeah, it's an Atari game. It used to be on every PC back in the day with like Minesweep.
Blockbusters. Nope. Okay. Yep, develop. Okay, here, let's actually look at this. So, a Metroscore, too old. Arcade. Action originated in 1976. And it's
Brick Break.
Brick Breaker. Let's give it a shot. No, what was it called? Breakout. Yeah. We were close. We had it.
We were close. Yeah, we got close.
Like I said, I saw the little ball. I'm like, okay, this is old school right here. This is something old. But nevertheless, chat, we couldn't get it done.
Hey, it's okay. 50% for today.
Yeah, we tried. That video game one's, easy and hard because it just gives you a small little picture. But, we'll get better. We're getting better at it. So sometimes, unfortunately, we just don't know the games. We knew exactly what the game was. We just couldn't think of what the game was. And that kind of leads into, our topic of the day. We are talking games. We're talking various types of games. We're looking board games, card games, video games. I know we won't go much into depth with the video games, knowing that we have talked about that, a decent amount on this channel, and you kind of know, but we'll kind of recap for any of those may have not been here. So Murph, kind of let's start off. What are your favorite board games? What are some of those board games you just can't get enough of, love to play?
So, when I was younger, we used to play Life a lot and Monopoly. And then there's this one game. I'm not sure if any other cultures play it, but I know that every time my grandma goes to Pakistan, she brings back a Ludo board. And Ludo is essentially green, yellow, blue, and red. You get 4 pieces, and you have to roll double sixes in order to start moving on the path. And if you're red, so the board is set up like you have to get to the center of the board basically. And each color has its own path. So let's say red is right here. The path goes here, then here, then here, then it's like a huge plus sign. But each side has like the path of the other 4 colors as well. So you have to safely be able to move all the way across the board. And once you get back to your color, you go up this middle path to the center. And once you get to the middle, it's 6 spaces. So if you roll a 6, you immediately get to put your piece like back into the bucket basically. So that piece is gone. And now you have 3 more pieces you have to get home basically. And while you're going through, like let's say there's 6 blocks on each side of the plus sign. So let's say I'm on like block 5 and my mom is like directly in the same line as me. She rolls 5. That means she gets to now knock my piece out and I have to bring him back into my inner circle of red now.
Okay.
I don't know what American game is kind of like that game, but
the way you're describing it, it's a game I think I've played or have seen. I just can't remember what the name of it was, but it sounds familiar. How you're describing it. I just can't think of what the name is. I can't. What is the name? I can't remember.
Is it
the
Trouble?
life of me. But I know. I think I know what you're talking about, or I know something I feel like would be similar to what you're talking about.
I'm not even sure. Is it like Trouble?
No, I'm not thinking Trouble. Like, I'm thinking a game that has like a wooden board and like pegs on it and everything like that. I just can't think of what that is.
Couldn't tell you either, bro. But I do know that life, got really intense, and anybody to this day, Monopoly gets really intense in my household. There was a point in time where my uncle was like, "Yeah, we got to stop playing Monopoly now." It would get so intense. Me and my brother started fist fighting one time because it got that serious. We had to stop playing Monopoly for a while. But those are like my top 3 board games of all time.
Okay.
What about you, Vish?
Also, I'm looking right now. It looks like a lot of these peg things that I'm thinking of are just called wooden peg games. It doesn't say the name. It just says wooden peg game. So apparently I don't, wooden peg game is, I guess, what I was looking at and looking for. So, but me, I think I'm the same. Monopoly. We played that a lot. I remember there'd be nights where when I was younger, me and my next door neighbors, it would be like a very rainy day in the summer or something like that, or just rainy day, and we're like, what do we do? Like, we can't go outside. Like, what should we do? So we'd set up Monopoly in the garage. We'd just be sitting in the garage, eating snacks, playing Monopoly. We never played. I don't think I've actually played a full game of Monopoly correctly, because we'd always do just, okay, everyone, we're just passing out all the landmarks. Everyone owns, like, you get passed out, and this is what landmarks. So we just started the game just with landmarks already out. You didn't have to go buy the properties or anything like that. And then, as we were younger, we didn't really understand the house stuff. So it's just like, okay, you can just buy a hotel for $100. We didn't have to, okay, you have to buy 4 houses before you buy this. And then there would be a bunch of trades going on like, hey, I will trade you this property for this property because you have 2 of the greens. I have 2 of the reds. I need your red. You need my green. Come on, let's trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow there was always some party that always ended up with Park Place and Boardwalk on occasion. So, like, you get around that corner and you're like, if I can survive, I'll be fine for the next 3 laps. But if I don't get through this, I might not make it through the rest of the game.
Literally.
So, but never played it correctly, but I did enjoy it. It was a great fun game. It was just, you could play as long as you want. I mean, sometimes it would get boring, but that's the nice thing is, like, if you really wanted to stop, you could stop and just call whoever was winner, or you just kept playing until someone was out. So that's definitely a fun game. Clue, I also love Clue. Great game. It's a very strategic game, trying to think of everything and what everyone asked and who has what, and just trying to remember all those pieces can kind of get crazy sometimes. So I enjoy, Clue. Battleship is another fun one. I don't know if Battleship's considered a board game or what it's actually considered, but, that's a fun one too. It's definitely a strategic game, trying to, remember everyone is. And then, there's just a bunch of other games I could, list off, but, from board games, they're, that's the nice thing is these board games are easy, fun to pick up, and, like, playing them now, you're like, okay, and now it's just crazy because you can play these board games on the computer with friends that aren't even close to you. Me and you, Murph, could play a board game right now and stream it, and we wouldn't even, like, it would just be like it's nothing. So, it's fun how those, revolutionized and also become, they're still the board games, they're still a little more advanced, but, you can go. I think the most, like, advanced thing I always remember as a kid is you were like, oh my gosh, is when Monopoly started coming out with, like, the credit cards, essentially. So, like, you could enter in and put 2 cards in the bank and hit plus, and it would just add your money instead of, like, having to pass out money, like, here's your money, and be like, I think I have this much. It was just like, put your card in. You have this much money. It's like, okay. So that was, kind of fun. Like, it changed it up a lot of bit, got rid of a lot of those dollar bills and changed it so it was a lot quicker, a lot more fast paced instead of, okay, let me count out $1,000 I owe you for landing on your hotel space. Here, okay, just hit 1,000 and it would transfer one to one end, one to the other end. So, yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool.
Probably my favorite. Those would probably be my top board games. But you can never go wrong with any board games. I mean, I played this one here for the first time about a year ago. My friend has this like Star Wars one where you're like essentially trying to take over the galaxy with like different things, and you have different heroes that you can obtain that have like different. It's kind of like Clue, but not. But like you can obtain this stuff, and then you build like Star stories, and then if you go attack someone, and so it was a pretty fun game. And then I think there was one with my friends is you tried to build up your army and you go through each room and you didn't know what was going to be in each room because you would just have to draw a card and it would be like, okay, they have plus 10 attack, and if you had plus 12 you won, so you could advance to the room. So like I said, there's so many different board games and how they're played and all this different stuff. It's just cool, and it's just crazy some of the ideas people come up with, and you're like playing the game, you're like, this is so simple, why didn't I think of this? But, so, kind of now switching over, kind of what's your favorite card games, Murph?
Oh, card games. Okay. I'd say War, definitely, because growing up, I played that a lot, especially when I'd go to Pakistan. Majority of my uncles are always in Pakistan, and that's all those freaks play over there. They drink chai, sit on like a little mattress, and play War all day long. So, and they would gamble like their actual money. So I was like, let me hold $5 real quick. Let me see what I can do. They'd always wipe me out every time. Then I got older and I got much better at it. And then there's another. Oh, well, it's not a card game, so I can't really say that one. But Go Fish was always fun when I was a kid. Go Fish was always fun. But Go Fish gets boring after a while because you're sitting there. You're like, yeah, you got a 3 of hearts. No, okay. You got a 4. Yeah, like the first 7 minutes of Go Fish are very interesting. But after that, it's like, okay, yeah, let's stop playing this. I think Uno is a legendary game. Who doesn't have fun with Uno? And Uno is kind of like how you play Monopoly. We never play by the rules in my household. You're allowed to stack 4s. You're allowed to stack 2s.
Uno doesn't know what you're talking about. You can stack 2s. They don't know the rules.
Yeah, people, that's the big thing. People like, you can't stack 2s, you can't stack 4s. Like, bro, we stack everything. Everything. Well, my family does not care.
What's funny is the official rules of Uno is you can't stack. Like, someone tweeted out, It was funny, Uno tweeted out, like, you can't stack a +2, and like, multiple people were commenting, shut up, you don't know the rules of the game. To the Uno account. Like, it's just funny as crap like that. People are like arguing with the official Uno Twitter account that they don't know the rules to their own game.
They don't. Bro, every household does that. I guarantee you everybody has done that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you got older and you realize that maybe those aren't the rules, and your family is like, okay, maybe we should put it by the rules. Nah. Stack the 2s. Stack the 4s. It doesn't matter. We stack cancels.
Oh, yeah. That's just how it goes. They don't know what we're doing. They don't know what they're talking about.
They have no idea. What about you, Vicioso?
Well, Uno's on my list. Uno's a fun one. You can play multiple games super quick, which is nice. As well as, we kind of talked earlier, like the board games being virtual, it's the same as the card games. There's the Uno card games. I've played that numerous times. It's just fun, You can get especially a group of 4. I always kind of think of Uno through that. I don't know if you ever seen the Ninja clip of him playing Uno, but so the way they were playing it is you had to draw until you draw the correct card color. So you had to draw until you could play. You couldn't just draw one and not be able to play. You had to draw until you could play. Well, so it just kept giving him cards. Would not eventually, he had 11 more cards than he had. So what happened?
And you start off with 7.
Yeah. So I think he had like upwards almost 20 cards, or he had less there, whatever. I can't remember the exact. But then, so he puts it down, finally can go, and then someone he's playing with hits him with a reverse, and so then he has to play again and has to proceed to like pick up like 6 more additional cards, and you just sitting there, what are you doing? He would like, you can just hear his voice, you can't see anyone's face, but you just see him just getting so pissed, and that's kind of the one thing I think about when I think about the electronic Uno. But other games, I like Coup. It's a game I don't think is as familiar with people. So essentially what happens is there's about 6 or 7 different like people that you have that have different roles. And the point of the game is like you get 2 cards and you don't show everyone what you have. So you can be lying about what you have, you can be true about what you have, and you collect these little they have like coins that you collect. That you can use. If you hit 7, you can kill someone's player's card off without any thing. But there's also like an assassin card that you can play 3 coins to kill someone. But someone can also have like a thing that blocks the assassin. And so there's like different like roles that can block certain things. They can do certain actions. And eventually you're supposed to be the last one with a card standing. You start with 2, and of the group you're supposed to be the last one standing, letting them know like, hey, like, and then you calling people out. I don't believe you have this. So like, there's people that play like they have everything. There's people that play that have, only 1 card. There's people, I've seen my one buddy, he played without looking at his cards. He just said, screw it, I'm not looking at my cards, and he just played. So people didn't know whether to call him or not because they didn't know. He has no idea what he has. They have no idea what he has. So eventually, like, someone's like, you don't have that. And so then it was like the reveal of, oh, hey, I do have this, or, oh, well, I lost one of my cards. So.
It's a surprise to him, too.
Yeah. Another fun game I like to play, I don't know if you've ever played Exploding Kittens.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
Essentially, the gist of Exploding Kittens is there's like various different cards that have different actions, or there's like matching cards you can use to do different things. And there's, depending on the group of people, there's always one less exploding kitten than there is everyone else. Everyone gets 1 diffuse at the start. So you just keep drawing cards, and you're trying to force everyone else to draw the exploding kitten. And so if you don't have a diffuse, you're dead, which means it moves on, and you're trying to be the last person alive. So it's a pretty fun game. It's enjoyable. And then probably one of my last ones I love to play. I mean, it kind of gets old after a while, but it's Cards Against Humanities. That game every single time just is so different. You never know where that's going. You never know, like, you sometimes just get crap cards and you're like, I have nothing. And then there's other times like you just draw every single gold card. But it's fun about that game is it's sometimes not about what's the funniest. It's what is the person that's reading these gonna think's the funniest. So
yeah, you gotta think in their shoes. Yeah, like, what's their sense of humor?
Yeah, and especially too once you like play with like new people, because you're like, how do you think? You thinking this is funny. I think this is funny. And then it's funny too because like you play with different groups, and there's like 3 or 4 cards with each group that are like the god tier cards. Like if you have this, regardless of what the thing is, you are winning this round because you played the ultimate card.
Yep.
Like I mean, there's some that probably aren't appropriate to say here on this podcast, but
there's a lot of them that aren't appropriate.
A lot of them, but like there's one that's something deep in a what was it? Something deep. Oh, in like a hog while shooting a rifle in the air or something like that. Like that one was like always one. And then for some reason, me and my friends, we just this card just became funny for no reason, and now it's just kind of kept that. There's one that's just bees, like as a question mark. And for some reason, like that card always wins because we're like, we don't know why. It just one of the times was super funny when we saw it for the first time. And with that group, like if you play that card, you're pretty much automatically winning. So, but yeah, just, that's a fun card game. It's completely different. It's fun to enjoy, and, each game, you never know how it's going to go.
I agree. Cards Against Humanity is one of those games where you definitely got to be with 18 plus people to play. And the craziest stuff on there. Have you ever played it on the computer with your friends? Oh my god, you can customize what the cards say.
Oh yeah, I've
It's
seen that. I've never
so
played
crazy.
it, but I'm like, that would be super fun to do if we could get like a group of us and play that and make tag related cards.
Oh, that would be
I could
so
see
fun.
one of them, Mr. Vegito stabbing someone.
Yeah, or it's like Vegito screaming the national anthem.
You walk into a room and it's dead silent. What's the first thing you hear? Mr. Vegito screaming out the national anthem. From a distance, you hear, Bubba, come on! Let me turn around and let me
That
smell
would
your
be so
breath.
fun. Yeah, you drink my Mountain Dew.
Oh, I'm all
That'd be
hyped up on
great.
G Phil. Just like, I think it would just be a fun thing just to mess around with. But yeah, I've seen that one too. I've seen people play. I've never played it myself, but I can only imagine the stuff that goes on that one too. And the cards that are probably on that are probably 100 times worse because people are making them. So if you play with certain people, you might be finding some interesting cards. The worst part is when you see a card and you're like, I'm not 100% sure what this means, but you don't know if you want to Google search it or not because you don't know what's going to pop up on your screen. You're like reading something, you're like,
I think I'll leave that one alone.
I'm just going to put this down so I can get rid of it because I don't know what it means. And then there's the one person that knows what it means and thinks it's absolutely hilarious. You're like, yeah, funny, huh? I knew exactly what I was doing.
That's funny. There's always that one person that knows. Always that one person.
Always. But so we kind of taught. It was funny. We're talking a very adult game, but like Murph, what are some of those games you played as kids? Those ones that when you were in elementary school, when you were playing with your buddies. Like, what are some of your favorite like kids games that you used to play growing up?
There's this one game where like so you have a ball, you have to throw the ball up and pick as many of those like little metal things up.
Jacks.
Jack. I used to play that so much. Like my uncle brought it. We started playing it at home. I became semi good with it, and I would take it to school. And I'd be like, "I bet you guys can't get more than me." And they go, "Yeah." And it's like those memes that you see on TikTok where it's like, "I'll bet you your Go-Gurt pouch for it." Like, "Oh, you got a Gushers pouch? Bet. I'll put it on the line. I'll put my apple juice up." What you trying to do? So I'd sit there and hustle these kids, vicious. They'd be trying to. I'm like, "Yeah, you suck. I'll take that Gushers pack now." I used to be loaded. I loved playing that. Me and my friends, actually, funny enough, I remember I think it was the 4th grade or the 3rd grade, I got bought a poker set randomly because my other uncle thought it just looked cool. He bought me an entire poker set. I mean, I had every chip that there possibly was. I think it was like red, blue, white, and then there was like, and then I think
this one.
And then there's like a black chip too, I think.
Yep.
And that was like the highest amount or something. I had like 2 decks just in case we lost one. And I remember my one friend, he knew how to play poker. So he was like, bring the set tomorrow. I'll teach you how to play. We'll all put up something from our lunch. And I had those Dole fruit pouches that I'd always get. But he was like, okay, so you always have like an oranges one. Do you have the mixed fruit one? I'm like, yeah, I have a mixed fruit one. He's like, bring that, put that on the line. I'm like, all right, bet. And I got washed. Because it was like my first time playing poker ever. Another one. What's another one I used to play a lot of? I'd probably say Connect 4 because I got really good at Connect 4. Like really good. And when you go to Dave and Buster's, they have that Connect 4 of basketball now. Oh my God, nobody can beat me at that one, Vish. I'm undefeated against everybody in my family. Ooh. Nobody is beaten. I'm so good at that one. Because I still know how to trap people, It's fun. You put one piece here, and then they make like some snide remark, like, bro, you're stupid. Why would you put that there? Like, okay, buddy, put your piece in. Let's see what happens. Oh, man. Those are the days, Vish. What about you? What are some games you used to play as a kid?
Well, when we meet up in person, we're finding Dave and Buster's. It's going down. We're gonna play
Oh
some
yeah.
Connect Four. I'm
Oh,
not very good at it, but we're playing some Connect Four. I
don't
gotta
worry, we'll
take
get us
down the
some
reigning
wings.
champ.
We'll get some wings. We'll get a couple beers going, and we'll see.
Okay, it's down. It's down. We gotta next time we pick a location. We gotta find a. Is there a David Buster's in vicinity of that area?
We'll have to see.
There's so much that we play. I did a lot of like Foursquare. Growing up in elementary school, we did a lot of that. Simple, stupid game, but kept you entertained almost all recess.
Yeah.
We also did a thing called butt ball. I don't know if I think it's
What
called.
the heck?
It's also called. I think some people call it wall ball. I don't know if there's like
Oh,
a
wall ball.
yeah. So essentially, like, you throw the racquetball or something softball against the thing, and if you try and grab it to throw it, but if you miss it and touch it, you have to hit the wall before the ball hits there. If you got three
Yeah.
outs, then you have to stand in line while everyone attempts to pelt this freaking racquetball at your back. So you're like just sitting there like, oh no 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 no, oh,
I'm about to
and you
get
just
right
hear the
at
ball
you,
just
bro.
come and just, and you see it and you're like, oh oh. And there's like certain people you're like, you just turn around, oh crap, it's them, and you're just like sitting there like, please, 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 miss, because if this hits, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna, oh. So that was a fun time, any sort of tag, whether that was normal tag, freeze tag, always just messing around with those type of tags. We did I know it's not, it's a game, but not really. We do a lot of like soccer. When I was in elementary school, we would literally do boys versus girls, and we just have every single recess was just a soccer game. Everyone knew where to go. You went to the field and you just play until someone kicked it over the fence on either side, and then the people that covered recess wouldn't allow you to go get it. So you'd be sitting there like, but we need it. And they're like, well, we'll get it when we go get, at this point in time. So you're sitting there like, well, we can't play. Oh, dang it. So there's that. And then, I used to play, when I was at my grandma's house, we used to play a game called Shipwreck. I don't know if you're aware of Shipwreck. Essentially, there's starboard deck, ship deck. There's different part, and so there'd be a caller, and you have to go to a certain part of the boat, and you have to be the first one there, or not the last one there, to not get eliminated. And at different parts of the boat, you had to do certain actions. We would play on my grandma's deck, so it wasn't a big thing, but you had to remember which side was which, and there's certain things you had to do at the certain things, and if you were the last one, you were out, and eventually you wanted to be the last person standing, then you would become the caller. And then so that was another fun one that we used to do as kids at my grandma's house. Like I said, there's so many different games out there that probably me and you played that we could go on and on and on about all these games, but it's funny just that you don't see them as much sometimes. You start talking about these kids like, oh, this game, they're like, what? This game
Yeah.
can be a game I feel like everyone knew, but it's starting to get to that where you're like, maybe not. So, but it's crazy to think, like you said, the evolution of the games itself. It used to be you could, with technology now, you can play with most of these type of games with anybody. Besides those games
just
kind
over
of
the
we were
phone.
talking about, where you have to have multiple people in one area, you can play any of these games and play with friends and do whatever. Half of these games now you can get on your phone and play online with people on your phone. You don't even have to be right there. And I think that's the great thing about these games, I think we've talked about before, is, you can go so many different places and meet so many people, and it doesn't have to be just video games. Like I said, I guess the board games and card games are technically video games, but they're not. They're I still consider them board games. Yes, they're a video game, but they're still a board game, because that's what we grew up. It's just you're playing electronically.
One thing though that I will always miss about the old days is kickball. I don't know if in your school in your elementary school, man, I remember we would be talking about playing kickball at lunchtime, and they'd be like, "I'm going to be the first one to kick the ball, and I'm going to kick it out of bounds, and that's going to be an immediate run." And I remember being on defense and just like, man, I can't wait to get on offense so I can kick this ball as hard as I can.
Oh yeah.
And the line would be so long,
You
so
kick it once, and
long.
then you're sitting there for another like 30 minutes. Like, okay, it's end of lunch or end of PE, and you're like, I got to kick it one
Uh,
time. This is
yeah,
bullcrap.
you're like, but like those are the type of games, bro. You can't put on like you can't do that over technology.
Yeah,
Like, and even now, I mean, I'm older now, so even if I wanted to play kickball, I don't think my body would physically allow me
yeah,
to kick the ball and run as fast as I used to. You know, but I agree with you. The way games themselves, including board games, or like how the world has been able to bring games like now you and me, if we wanted to, we could play Monopoly over the phone.
yeah.
There's a game called Monopoly on the Go that if you and me just became friends on it, we could play that. And then on iPhones, they have iPhone games or something like
Yep.
that, iGames or something, where you and me could go head to head against an 8 ball pool or what is it called, four in a row.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, but there are those games that they'll never be able to bring on technology, like a kickball, like a kickball.
Well, kind of, that made me think of something. Murph, you talked about kickball, but what were some of your favorite games that you played at PE when you were growing up as a little kid?
Um, I loved playing dodgeball, because I was always a little Riz master, even back in the day. So I'd be like, "Don't worry, I'll protect you, Linda." And then I'd get right out, and Linda would be like, "You're supposed to protect me." I'm like, "Hey, man, stuff happened. I don't know what you want from me."
Something happens. It's all right, Katie. She's out of the
Yeah.
picture now. It's just me and you.
Here comes Chad from behind me with his turn now. I always loved playing basketball, um, and football. Always, man, we would play football, and ever since I was a kid, I kind of knew like I was bigger, so it was always like much easier to play football with these kids because they were not as vertically as talented as I was, and I was always like a hefty boy. So, and the teachers would get mad at us all the time because, when you're younger, the boys, they don't ever play no damn tag football
No.
or they don't play flag football. No, I'm tackling you, buddy. Like, there's none of that. So the teacher at one point in the year was like, all right, I know you guys are just going to go play tackle, but don't hurt each other. No, there's none of that. I'm trying to literally break your leg when I'm tackling you. I get it. We're both 7. I don't care. I'm running at you full speed.
I'm about to LaDainian Tomlinson your ass.
I am about to Ray Lewis light you up, boy. They're gonna call me Baby Cam Chancellor out here. Me, myself, and I am the Legion of Boom in the 3rd grade.
I'm the Legion of Boom. What's the Legion of Boom? Don't worry about it.
You gonna find out today. Wait till after lunchtime. Let me finish your Go-Gurt.
Wait, let me finish your Gogurt that I won. Now I'm about to eat your ass with this Gogurt fuel power that I have.
Man, those were the days, man. I'll tell you what. You could easily rizz a girl up in dodgeball back in the day. Catch a ball to save her life and be like, "Who do you want out next?" I want Tommy. All right, bet you hit Tommy in the face with the ball. Tommy's out. It's like, okay. Football was just so much fun, bro. We never listened. We would just try to hurt each other all the time. What about you, Vish? What about you?
There's so much. I'm trying to even remember games. There would be certain games like I don't even remember the name, but I remember like there was a bunch of those. I don't know if you ever had like there was like those yellow and red and blue like cart things that had like the handles on the side. It had the 4 wheels on the bottom, and you would like sit on them. And there was different games you would play with those.
Like there were squares?
Yeah,
Yeah. Those squares with like the computer chairs on the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah.
You like played just so many random games with that. You did kickball, you did dodgeball. You do like the parachute games where you had the ball in the parachute and you had to like hit it another
Oh
way
yeah.
so that didn't touch you to get out. Like, You had the parachute game where you're sitting there just doing it. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're sitting like, don't worry, they're not coming for us, because there'd be kids underneath like just yanking people down. Like, don't worry, they're not coming for. Next thing you know, you like look back over like, yeah, they're not gonna get us. Yeah, right, Tommy. Oh, and Tommy's gone underneath the chute.
It's like a horror movie.
And then you're like saying like, Jim, and then you see Jim getting crawled underneath. You're like, oh no.
It's like, me next.
It's me next. I'm done. Jimmy and Tom are gone. Timmy's gone. I don't know what to do. I guess another one, it wasn't really PE, but Heads Up, 7-Up was just, I don't know why that game was so fun, but, it was just an enjoyable time. Everyone just had a great time. No one really cared. Everyone kind of did the quick peek of, okay, I saw this shoe. Whose shoe is that? I think it was...
Yeah, you got to remember stuff before you put your head down for 7-Up.
Yeah. So, just all that different stuff, I mean, like I said, there were so many PE games and so many that, like, you don't even remember. The best is I took, like, a PE class in high school, and literally, like, every, 2 weeks, we were just switching games. He would just let us play a sport for, an entire week. So we'd, play softball for, or if it's like, hey, can we play this for longer? He's like, okay.
That's a cool PE teacher.
We did basketball for a week. We did we did softball for 2 or 3 weeks. Just a bunch of different games. Like you said though, those games are ones that as our childhood we absolutely love. But kids, it's something that you can't just do now. Would it be fun to go back and play those games? Yeah, but you got to have people in person. It's just not a thing you can just show up. I mean, there might be groups that just get together. Hey, we're playing dodgeball. Get together, dodgeball. I guess there is leagues, but I'm just saying there might be random posts oh, hey, we're playing this old childhood game or something like that at this place.
That would be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that, but just all these adults showing up to play this game you played in elementary school. It might be something to start. It'd be weird. You might not get a lot of people, but if you can get it going, it'd definitely be a lot of fun.
I remember my high school football team tried to do that. They're like, hey, everybody that was on the football team, link up back at the old high school football field. We're trying to get games going every week. I'm like, bruh, I'm 25. First off, if I get tackled, I just had a knee replacement. You think I'm finna go out there and get tackled, buddy? And I'm a grown man. Now, if I hit somebody, I might hurt them. I'm too old. I'm going to get hurt. Somebody else is going to get hurt. I don't even have health insurance right now, buddy. Get out of here.
I might tackle someone and and hurt me and him.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Jim? Nope. Okay, neither am I.
Yeah, my hernia.
It would be called what? Oh my gosh, why am I Grown-Ups. It'd be like Grown-Ups where they're playing the basketball game. Hey, I'm out of shape too. You want to fake an injury? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to fake an injury?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, I'm young. So, just watching that, it's just just funny.
That's exactly how it would be. I swear to God, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, no, I hit the ground wrong. My left pectoral dorsal fin is, I can't do it.
My obliquus erectus infinitus is just, it's gone. I think I pulled it. Where is that? I don't know. I think it's just pulled.
But I know it's hurting.
I know it's hurting. So I read it on a research article one time, and the pain I'm having is the same they described in that article. So, I got to be done.
That would be so funny, though. That's a great analogy. That's a great one. It'd be like Grown-Ups. It would definitely be like Grown-Ups.
Yeah. Now, kind of coming down, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but kind of, what are some of your top video games right now, and maybe a few from your childhood, Murph? I know we've talked about this before.
So right now, I'll be honest with you, Apex, and Apex. Because I'm really trying, my ultimate goal with this game, in Rebirth, we got to a point, we've talked about this before, where we started going competitively, and then they took Rebirth away from us when I was just starting to get, really, really good. Recently, I've tried to develop the skill of playing claw on Apex because that, for people who don't have back paddles on their controllers and they just have a stock PS5 controller like this, you play claw like this, where it's kind of your fingers and stuff. You use this finger to press all these buttons, so your thumbs never leave the analog stick. So I'm trying to get better like that. For people who don't have paddles, if you really want to get in the competitive scene, playing claw is the best way to fully maximize movement, aim, everything in the game. So right now for me, it's Apex 100%. I genuinely like. I love playing Fight Night for with a real passion. I'm a very competitive guy. Any game I really play, I always try to have the best record, do the best in it. Even in Fight Night, my online record is really good too. But I had to stop playing that game because my fingers are so used to gaming that I just don't want to mess my muscle memory up. So like I'll come back and I'll play. And with Fight Night, when you play, it's all about holding block and using your right stick to slip and dodge and stuff. So I'll be back on Apex like dodge, slip. Oh, wrong game.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it on one game so my brain can get that muscle memory down and get the right movements down for what I need to do. Back in the day, video games, definitely WWE, a lot of WWE. Me and my brothers used to have triple threats for belts and stuff, and it was so funny. I got, we've already told this story before, but I got so good at WWE, I made my older brother quit playing for like a full year. And then when he came back, he made a truce with our other brother that they were just going to jump me every triple threat. So it was always a 1v2. And then my older brother would just pin the other brother because I already beat him up a lot. So it was fun all the time. We played a crap ton of Madden too. WWE and Madden. I mean, and I remember, Vish, we had a TV that was, I'm trying to think. Like the screen was literally maybe the size of an iPad. But you remember back in the day, those TVs that had those big old asses?
Yep.
But it was this little ass. Like I swear to you, the TV must have been like literally this big. That's it. This was the screen. And we would be sitting this close
Yeah.
just playing Madden for hours and hours. We couldn't see. And then I remember my uncle got us a TV. I think it was like a 30-inch TV or something. It was a much, much bigger TV, but compared to the TV I have myself now that I bought, it was a very small TV.
Oh, yeah.
So, but at the time, it was like, damn, wow, this TV is big. And we could see our receivers on the edge because back in the day on that little TV, you could only see the line and the quarterback.
Yep.
So you had to guess. But I don't know. There's no safety back there, so I'm just gonna chuck it to X. But yeah, trying to think of another video game we used to play a lot. My brother always kept it really, really. What's the word I'm looking for? A various amount of games. Like we beat Teen Titans, the original one. Then we beat Teen Titans, the second one. We beat Lego Star Wars. We beat the actual Star Wars game. We would just play all types of games with GameFlix or Game Pass.
Yeah,
I think it was called GameFlix. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The gaming service. You could order the game online, and they'd mail it to your house.
Yep. I can't think of the. I know what you're talking about. I know Netflix did, or maybe it was Red. No, it wasn't Redbox, but Redbox you could do the same thing. I know what you're talking about.
But it's an older service. Like this was when we were like really young.
Oh yeah.
I remember you could go on their website. You pay only like $10 a month for the membership. So me and my brother would just like pick 3 or 4 games out, and he would come over, and we would just play. And I mean, we would beat games like it was nothing, bro. Because back in the day when you play video games, your brain just works so differently.
Yeah, well, back then too, like now you look at it, you have these story modes that take 18 plus hours to complete just the original story, and if you want to complete all the extras, it's 32 hours of extra side quests and stuff like that. Back then in the day, it was like realistically, you could beat a game in like an hour.
Oh yeah, if you just stay consistent with it, it definitely max like two
Oh
hours.
yeah.
Max 2 hours. If it's like a tough game, yeah, for sure, for sure. What about you, Vicious?
Just kind of, video games, Call of Duty. Unfortunately, it's kind of gone, downhill a little bit. I haven't played as much, but Call of Duty is still one that I play a lot. Fall Guys. I've been trying to play Fall Guys a little bit more here recently. I actually started a series on my YouTube about like tips and tricks, or my YouTube, my TikTok. So, been playing a little more Fall Guys here recently. I just bought the NBA 2K23 for super cheap, so been playing some My Player, Madden, obviously. Those are games I kind of been playing recently, and then in the past, I was always playing, like you said, Madden, FIFA, NBA. I played a lot of Crash, Spyro,
Oof,
Sonic.
good game.
Like you said, a lot of different various games. Because back then you didn't really have the multiplayer, so you had to, like, unless you were at the person's house, you couldn't play. So you did,
Yeah, for sure.
story modes were a lot more prevalent. I think they're starting to kind of make their way back around, but initially it was like that's all you did was story mode. It wasn't until like the Xbox, you could get Xbox Live, which no one really understood at that time because it's like I had to pay for a membership to play online. Like, what? And so, it wasn't really until like the 360 and, probably the PlayStation 3 that online gaming kind of started becoming more and more prevalent and more used. But, so a lot of those type games, but, just fun. Like we said, we've talked about different things, all the different memories we've had with those games. But that would kind of
Hmm.
be, for me, like the video games that I'm playing currently, as well as, ones that I played in the past. But so we're kind of, looks like we're wrapping up with this episode. If anybody in chat has any questions for us, just let us know. As always, Murph, what is your question for us for this episode?
So, out of all the games that you have listed, including board games, kids you used to play as a child, if there was one game that you could go back and play the same way you used to as a kid, as an adult, forget any of the health issues, any bodily issues. Just imagine in a perfect world, you could go back and play that game at the same level you used to, whether it's a board game, an IRL game, a card game, whatever it is. What game would you choose that you could go back and play?
Honestly, I'd probably do butt ball. It was good thing. It was a lot of fun. Especially too if I could get the group of people I used to play with. I played a lot in elementary school. I played a lot in high school. If get some of those, just that, even that group together, and just play that and just reminisce. Like, I think it'd be fun. It would be definitely a fun thing to reminisce about and remember all the good times. I mean, even my friends, we still talk about it here and there, but just to kind of replay it, redo it, like, just would be a great time. But
Okay.
how about you, Murph? What would be your one game?
I'd say kickball, man. I miss those times because the way people would get hype, it's 3 outs. You're on your second out, and if somebody kicks it, and you gotta go crazy for that catch. You put your body on the line. The way that your defensive team would get so hype, you would think you just won a Super Bowl out there in the park. And just hearing like that collective sigh of disappointment from the people who didn't get to kick the ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that is so like that's such a great feeling. You're like, suck it, loser. You catch that out, you already got your turn to kick the ball. You kicked a nice kick, and then you hear the whistle, and it's time to go inside now. And those guys are so pissed. They're pissed at you for the rest of the day. Like, yeah, I don't care, buddy. I caught the ball. Your team sucks.
Eat
Oh,
it,
I love
suck it.
those days. Yeah, I still got your Gogurt pouch, kid. Like those are the days, man. That's definitely the game for me. I would love to go back and play kickball.
Okay. Luckily, there's, I think, adult kickball leagues, so you might have to look into that, Murph. See if you can find yourself an
Oh
adult
man,
kickball.
I can't do it, Vish. I got surgery on my right knee. That's my kicking leg.
You'll be fine. Just get it strengthened
Yeah.
up. It's only like once a week, and everyone's not going to take it super. I mean, there's going to be super competitive people, and then there's going to be people like, "Oh, this is so fun!"
Yeah, I'm just gonna be out there like, yeah. Oh, I got
Hey,
out.
if you just kick a
Thank
home
you.
run every time, you don't have to run. You just have to trot around the bases. So,
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna throw my leg out again. No, thank you. uh,
does not look like we have any questions from our chat today. Want to appreciate Apollo for tuning in to the stream, and then anybody else that might have not tuned in chat. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate any of you watching on YouTube too. Hopefully you guys are enjoying our podcast. You know, we've been enjoying filming it for you guys. You know, we have a lot of fun with this. We always look forward to every week. You know, maybe eventually we'll kind of start doing some more than just one time a week. But again, we appreciate everyone that tunes in and watches these. Hopefully, we're looking forward to doing more episodes here in the near future. Oh, looks like we got Scopes in here. Scopes, we appreciate you tuning in here. Unfortunately, we're kind of wrapping up here. So, but if anyone has any thing you would like for us to talk about in the near future, you know, DM us on Twitter. Let us know in the comment sections what you guys would like, and we'll try and get to those. Again, we hopefully will have some guest people here in the near future. We're kind of looking to that. So if you're interested in that, just let us know, and we'd love to kind of try and work something out with you guys. So until next time, you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.